Yo, what is going on, you guys? Welcome back to another video. So it seems like there hasn't been that much attention with regards to this $4,000 tax credit. What I wanted to do in today's video is go over what this benefit is, share with you guys how you can take advantage of it, because a lot of people are actually going to be able to do that. And we're going to go over the details so you guys know exactly everything you need to know about this in order to save yourself money and to potentially even make more money. So let's get straight into this video. Now, to start off, please do not confuse a $4,000 stimulus tax credit with a $4,000 stimulus check. This is not a stimulus check at all, by no means, but in the same way as you get money from the government, in essence, this can still provide you benefits because you can get things to reimburse you the money that you normally would lose anyways. Let's break this down in a couple ways. And why are we talking about this anyway? So normally we've seen a lot of bills going in and out, but I actually am pretty confident in this one just because this one is at a bipartisan agreement. For anyone who doesn't know what that means is both political parties who are actually proposing this are in agreement. So we got two Democrats, we got two Republicans. A really good example to put this is, say you're married and say you got a wife, usually it's hard for decisions to get passed. I feel like this is pretty much an example of the HEROES Act. You may agree with big decisions that your spouse may not. So maybe getting that new car. You want the truck, but she wants a sports car. You want red, but she wants black. Or you want to put your child through private school here, but she wants to put your child through private school over there. That's a non-bipartisan agreement. There's a debate going on. So whenever we see disagreements, whether it's happening within our own household or whether it's happening within the political parties, we know that when there is no functional agreement, like there is no unison, it does take quite a long time for some of these decisions to get passed. Now, when we're talking about this $4,000 tax credit, there is no disagreement here. They're actually for this, and it's pretty interesting, and that's why I'm pretty confident that something like this may actually get passed. Now, before I get into the rest of the details regarding this tax credit and how you guys can actually take advantage of it, let's go over the details of what this entails. Okay, so for anyone who's not familiar with the tax credit, this is not the same as a tax deduction. So a tax deduction, a good example of this is as a self-employed business owner or a YouTuber, say I need to purchase a new camera for whatever reason, or I need to use my keyboard and get one. This would be considered a tax deduction or a business expense that I can deduct out of the taxes that I pay at the end of the year because I use this for business. It helps me with my channel. It helps me be more efficient, productivity. But there have been other instances in the past with regards to tax credits that the government has given out. Now think about Tesla is a good example, or solar powered panels that used to be huge back in the day. The government would give incentives to the people for them to sign up or purchase these things because, one, it helps the environment. I think that alone usually is a pretty good incentive right there. But when we get these tax incentive or credits, say I buy a Tesla or say I buy a solar panel roof, okay, once I do that, the government can be like, okay, look, Brian, because you buy this, if you do get it, if you have it installed, what we're going to do is give you a $5,000 tax credit. The government usually makes up whatever the agreement is. Many Americans know you do have to pay taxes at the end of the year. If you are working for someone else, you usually get a tax refund. That is the amount that you overpaid to the government and they are giving it back to you. People get excited for that, but that's literally your own money back. That people think that's government giving them extra money. When you get your tax refund, that's your own money coming back that was accidentally overspent by whoever you work for. So if I'm self-employed though, and I get a new Tesla or I get a solar panel roof on the unit that I live in, and the government says, okay, Brian, if you do those two things, we'll give you a $5,000 tax credit that you can stretch out for 3 years. That means if I have to pay the government $3,000 in taxes this year, I can essentially not pay them any taxes, use my credit for that, and then the following year apply the rest of that principal, which is $2,000 to it. So generally this is how it works. And when we're talking about the details of this bill instead, it's not going to be a Tesla or solar panel roof. This is actually going to be related to education or certificates. And I find this actually to be fascinating because this is something that there is not a lot of talk about, but I feel like a lot of people can take advantage of this because of how important education and learning is, especially with the amount of tools that we have online today. Okay, so if I did not say this earlier, this is called the Skills Renewal Act. So what I'm going to do is go over this press release that I found online with regards to why they're actually bringing out this tax credit. They do a really good job at explaining this, and I see why there's a bipartisan agreement to it. Bipartisan. I see why there's a good bipartisan agreement between this just because it just makes sense. So bold action is required to help newly unemployed Americans find their footing and begin preparing for life after the pandemic. This new legislation will help Americans gain skills that will be in demand for years to come and position them to rapidly recenter the workforce with increased earning potential as soon as businesses begin hiring again. So what does this all mean? If we put this into the perspective of what's been going on in the past few months, a lot of people have been home. This is required by law, quarantine, stay at home. And although many states are relieving this right now, during the time that people were home not doing much, this really would have been a great incentive for people to learn new skills or get different trade certificates. Think about getting your real estate license, not having to pay anything for it, or maybe even taking a language class, maybe taking Korean out here, or maybe learning Spanish or French and doing this completely for free. Because during the time that people are home, say you pick up an extra language, say you get that certificate and leaving quarantine, and after this pandemic is over, you have additional skill sets that will allow you to get into different areas of the workforce. Now, I remember back in the day when I was looking to become a police officer, they would actually pay you additional money for more languages that you spoke. So this would really be an incentive to other people to encourage them to be bilingual or trilingual, or I don't even know if trilingual is, someone let me know if trilingual is a thing, but it pretty much incentivizes people to learn an extra language, especially if you're working within the public health department where you got to negotiate between two people and say they got a call. It's like, yo, we don't know what this like Korean family's saying. We need you out here. And you have that skill at hand. It's valuable because communication is so important out here. That is just one example. I feel like real estate license, that's pretty cool too, especially with the way the market is going down. But one of the things that I found fascinating about the details of this bill is that this could actually apply to online learning courses. And that's actually one of the most popular and booming industries coming out right now. And we see a lot of colleges, universities hopping over to the online education platform. We're seeing Twitter, Facebook, all the huge companies right now going virtual, no physical offices at all. And this makes us think about where the future is headed in terms of education and those online learning courses. If the government is looking to pass a bill that's going to allow people to save up to $4,000, hey, to me, I'm going to sign up for that photography course I always wanted to sign up for. I'm going to sign up for that cinematography, videography, whatever. I'm going to pick up that extra language that I always wanted to if I know the government is going to refund me that amount at the end of the year in the form of a tax credit. So I feel like this is so valuable. We know how many different courses out there. It doesn't have to be limited in one niche. It doesn't have to be something as like coding, Python, C++. It doesn't have to be difficult things. You could go out and essentially things that you've wanted to learn, if it's in the education space, it looks like you guys could actually get this to pass. Now, there are a ton of courses that I want to sign up for. I know Meet Kevin's got like 30 in his arsenal. I know you can do a call with him for $3,000. Say this passes. Maybe I could pick up one of his courses or sign up to have that $3,000 60-minute call with him, and then the government refunds me that amount. And then say I can do that with maybe any other YouTuber I wanted to in the past, but I didn't want to pull the trigger on those things. This is actually pretty insane, especially for people who are into self-improvement or learning a new skill or trying to come out of this quarantine just a bit of a better person, maybe a new skill set. Imagine if you come back to work and you're completely fluent in a different language and you just turn up on your boss. They're that language that you just learned. They give you a raise and then boom, your supervisor. I don't know. This opens doors. That's what I'm trying to say. Now, there are additional things. Let's keep going down. Our economy was changing rapidly before this nasty virus, and the current economic crisis is going to speed things up. We have to make sure that Americans have the skills we need to compete. Workers who are using this bumpy time to update their skills and retrain for new jobs are going to be a big part of that comeback, and we ought to reward them for their perseverance and grit. We're gonna go. I don't know. That was a little southernness. I don't even know where that came from. We're gonna get them. We're gonna come out of this stronger. We're gonna come out of this stronger. So within that last paragraph we just read, I want to highlight something because that was pretty important. We have to make sure that Americans have the skills we need to compete. What does this mean? So during this time, the idea, the principle is if you're not growing, you're dying. This is like the general law of attraction, like self-improvement quote ever. If you're not growing, you are dying. If you're not moving forward, you're moving backwards. That's what they say. And I feel like this relates to that because as most people are just chilling at home, you're not doing much. You're not growing that much. And I think as a country, we always want to be evolving. The whole point of this bill right here is that it's giving incentives to other people in our country right now to learn these new skills to stay competitive. That's huge right there. I feel like people are asleep. That's huge. As we continue dealing with the COVID-19 crisis, we must come together to develop and implement innovative strategies to get people back to work. So one of the trends that we've seen consistently throughout the entire world is whenever certain sectors go down, certain sectors go up. Now I can relate this with marketing, for example, because a lot of companies don't want to advertise right now because they're not sure exactly where the economy is going, how good their return is going to be. Marketing agencies are cutting back. Journalist agencies like newspapers and broadcasting services, they're cutting back too right now, which is actually very surprising. But whenever things go down, another industry goes up. And this industry, I don't know what it is exactly yet, but it could be, who knows? Who knows? Maybe YouTube as a career, or even other things like the medical side. I feel like confidently we can say that. There may be more nurses in the future because they lived through a time like this and people are more inspired to help people out during this time. So this is a huge thing right here. But when we get a bill like this out, we're going to see this line try to compete over here. So whenever we see different sectors go down, these people don't know what to do, a bill like this that encourages people to learn new skills will allow them to really keep up and then move over into that other sector that is growing. So that is really just the way I see it. I hope that makes sense to you guys. The COVID-19 epidemic has significantly altered our economy, and we should take smart, impactful steps to ensure American workers have access to the tools and training they need to succeed as the recovery process begins. We know the longer people are unemployed, the harder it is for them to rejoin the workforce. The Skills Renewal Act will provide workers with the resources they need to keep their skills sharp while they are out of work. I think that's why they call it the Skills Renewal Act. I like that. Either through distance learning or more traditional methods such as apprenticeships. And that's actually huge, you guys. Some of the most successful people I know in this life, they're not the ones that have gone to Harvard. They're not the ones that went to Cornell. It's actually the people that went to trade school or an apprenticeship. They learn some of these invaluable skills right now. And then after 1 year, that whole time, you're not paying an institution. You're not paying college. You're not getting student loans riled up. For that 1 year you work, you get paid, and then you come out making a six-figure salary. So it's like, yo, it's not too bad at all. It's like if people start learning this now, they learn all the skills, and then after all this is over, they get into that. It's like we can rebound pretty strong. So, do I believe this is going to pass? I do believe that there is going to be a strong chance on this to actually pass. Just not many people care about it, I guess, because they think education is not that important. But then we realize society is based off education. When people are going hundreds of thousands of dollars into student loans just to get themselves a piece of paper, we realize, okay, maybe this is actually much better than we think it is. I know it's not straight pocket cash right here that we're getting. I know it's not some, debit cards that the government is handing us in order for us to buy extra things. And for the people who don't need this money to pay for food and to pay for rent, I know these people are bummed out because, you can't buy that PS4, you can't buy your Animal Crossing game on Nintendo Switch, but I'm someone who values education so much, especially within the principle of the society that we live in. During this time, if the government comes out with this and we can take advantage of it and we can apply to these things, to even like things like Skillshare, that's like an online learning platform, not sponsored. They did sponsor me before in the past. This would have been an awesome video for them to sponsor. I would have given them such a good plug. Doesn't matter. They're an online learning platform. You can learn from other people. There's another thing called Master Chef, which is I find pretty interesting as well. You can learn from people who are experts within their industry. And then if they're like, yo, it costs $500 to be in my online virtual class or my course, but you learn all the skills and you're going to make more money after you learn this, I'll be like, hell yeah, but I still kind of feel like I don't want to commit. You know what I mean? But then if we have something like this, I know a lot more people would be inclined to come because it's free. It's completely free. At that point, if you don't sign up for education, it's like on your own due diligence. So, I feel like we dropped some fire in this video. Guys, if we drop some fire in this video, let me know down below just by dropping a like. Gently tap that. We all know that this isn't a bipartisan agreement. Do you guys believe that because it's on that side, because this is focusing on education, are we going to see this pass maybe even before our stimulus checks? Because watching videos, looking at the news, and keeping up with these statements and articles, knowing that our politicians are on vacation right now because of Memorial Weekend, I hope they have a really good vacation while people are out here struggling. I hope they I don't know what type of vacation they're going to have. I guess the leaders of our country going to need a vacation after like 4 days of working. All right. But yeah, guys, I don't know, man. So what do you guys think? You think this bill is going to pass or not? Let me know down below. And if it does pass, do you think this is going to be something that is useful to you? Let me know like what situation you're in. Are you a college student that you can find this useful? Can you go back to your 2-year and maybe get your associate's degree? Maybe you've never had an education before and this will allow you to pick up a class or two. Or maybe you're older. Maybe you're in your 40s or your 50s and you think, okay, I can finally pick up that hobby or get my real estate license if I wanted to. So definitely a lot of good questions coming up with regards to this latest bill. Check it out. I'll let you guys know if there's any additional news if we see this getting shot down completely. Now, guys, that was my video. If you guys enjoyed it, don't forget to drop the like down below like always. And also, don't forget to check out Webull. They actually did a promotion yesterday. I think I forgot to say it on this channel. I don't know if they're still doing it today, but normally the promotion is you get 2 free stocks if you sign up with them and deposit $100. Now, what they actually did was they're going to give you a chance to win a 3rd stock, and that one was Apple, which is another couple $100. So if you guys are interested in signing up for a completely free app that literally gives you money to sign up for, I will have that listed down below in the description, in addition to many other things that I don't even know what I have. I think I have Chime left. I have Ebates. I got some other stuff that you guys can check out too. So don't forget to check out the description down below. Like always, thank you guys for tuning by. And yeah, hope you guys have a good weekend, and I'll see you guys soon. Peace.